outlook.com. That's from the Does Podcast at outlook.com. Stories need to be told and voices need to be heard. Well, today do we have a special guest for you like every day? But these guys, man, they're some of the crunkest natives you're ever going to meet, man. Their music is banging and they're here to share their story and their testimony. So let's go ahead and introduce Mike Bone Music. What's up, guys? How are you?
Yeah, what's up? How you doing, boss man?
Man, chilling, man. Like I said, we talked earlier, blessed, man. Can't complain. Doing our best to get through this year and, just thankful for what God done in his life.
Amen.
How
Amen.
are you guys?
We're blessed as we can be, just trying to maneuver around this process. We've been learning to do a lot more online events and different things.
Yeah.
And we're venturing into acting now
Oh, wow. Cool, good.
since we can't do live events. So, yeah.
It's trying to stay busy, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's get into where'd you guys grow up and how'd you guys grow up?
We're from Oklahoma City, which a lot of people hear Oklahoma, they don't hear city that much. So
Yeah.
it was actual city. It might have been a small city, but it was a city. So
And it's grown a lot.
mostly in hood neighborhoods,
Urban areas.
urban areas. So
But
a lot of
that's why we have that accent. People always, especially the native community, always criticize us for having an accent. Like they call it a black accent.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
So we're like, man, we from the hood. I don't know.
not
I
at-
thought we sounded country. They're like, you trying to sound black. I'm like, oh, am I?
not everybody can be from the res.
Right? Okay, you guys didn't grow up on the res?
Nah. So our first experience with a powwow was in our late teens,
Yeah.
and that's when we fell in love with our culture. Being raised in a city, it was just like the only essence of our culture we got was in our history class, basically.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes with the school system teaching the wrong
Mhm.
things. So it's just like when we started learning about it, we were like, man, this is pretty cool. And I'm part of this. And then we started, doing sweats and ceremonies and all that kind of stuff and trying to what's it called? Trying to balance what is okay and what is not because of our faith. We were like, well, because of what different churches were saying, this is witchcraft and this is not, and this is, and we were like, okay, so we really stepped back and started kind of dissecting what was what. And when we broke it down to it, natives basically knew of a God. They didn't know his name. The Bible is the only thing that, broke it down as like, you know, this is his name, this is what his story or whatever. Natives just knew, hey, we have the creator of the sun, the creator of the water, the creator of the land. And we knew that we need to honor that person, whoever that person was. And a lot of people would look at our traditions and be like, oh, that's witchcraft. When really it wasn't. It was our form of praise and worship to whoever created the substance. Or a lot of people would say, we worshipped the sun or we worshipped the rain. No, we prayed for the rain. We prayed for the sun during times of drought.
We gave thanks for
And we
different
gave
things.
we gave thanks for different things that I could see how from a different perspective it looked like, oh, they're worshiping the trees or they're worshiping whatever, but it wasn't like that, what I'm saying? So we have a different connection to creator than most people would confirm as a belief in God. So
Right, no, it makes a lot of sense now. I understand that, man. You could just thankful for what you have and what's coming, what you've been blessed with. Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk about music, bro. Like the first time I seen you guys, I was AGT, and I was like, what? Man, these guys are cool. Like growing up in the hood and any of that, did that inspire any of your music?
Oh yeah.
yeah, man.
Definitely.
So like with AGT, we had just put out an album called Rain Dance, and we did that for the fact that we knew that AGT was gonna be on TV, and our manager was like, "Yo, the album should be called Rain Dance," and that way, when people look for the Rain Dance song, they'll find the whole album. And so we were like, "All right." We didn't really want to name it Rain Dance. I think we wanted to call it Freshest,
Yeah.
or like We Bout to, but it ended up being Rain Dance, and which was it was
It
a blessing, and not because
had pros and cons. It
pros
was,
and cons, because a lot of people will just remember just that song versus all the other songs.
yeah, and the song came out in 2005, the original version, and it was a whole different beat, and
Hmm.
it didn't have Mike on it. It was just me. It was a song I did for high school, and then we redid it with an original beat. Had our producer come up with something real hot and dropped it on the Rain Dance album. Only thing is now when people see the Rain Dance album, they assume it's a single. And so we always try to flip the CD case back and show the 20 tracks and let them know it's more than one song and let them know we're more than that one song. I mean, it's so many people out there just try to criticize us for all y'all do is crunk party music. That's all y'all are. That was your only hit song, and like,
Yeah,
no, y'all got to dig into it, man,
the
because
way
we versatile.
the way we write music is um we try to make every song sound different in the sense of how the beat approaches us. So like we don't want every song sounding just like the last one. So you'll hear like R&B, you'll hear a little bit of country almost, but
Yeah.
without the country, we don't like mixing the music too much of how like they do nowadays. So we're just like, let's just put it in a hip hop form so that when they hear it, they'll be like, I don't know why I like this song. I don't even like rap, but I like this song. And it's because we wrote it either to rock and roll or the country
Yeah,
or
it has that
R&B. It just has
melody.
that melody
Yeah,
that you're just like, oh, I don't know why I like this song, but I like this song. And
I think that's what sets us apart from other rappers. Is we get a lot of fans that don't like hip hop that love our music, and they'll actually come up to us and say that, or contact us and say that. Yeah, so
matter
that's
of
pretty
fact,
cool.
the song that we did on our second round on America's Got Talent is called Crunk Natives, and we wrote the lyrics to a rock and roll beat.
Ah.
And so like a lot of people were like, some people hated it, some people loved it, but I mean, if you kind of like rock music, you probably loved it. But like it's just different. We wanted something that was native inspired and something that was off a form off of hip hop. So we were like, well, what's opposite of hip hop is rock and roll. We just might as well write it as a rock song, but to a hip hop beat. And there we go.
Yeah, listen, you guys are versatile. You got, man, you got music that can be played in the clubs, and then you got music, man, you can be sitting, home or, taking a drive cruising to. That's cool, man. That's very versatile. So coming with all the music and being TV and obviously getting recognized, getting a lot of fame, how did that get to your head or did it affect your faith in God?
Well, since we've been doing it for like at the time of AGT, we've been doing it for 15 years. So we were kind of used to being spotted and being approached by fans. But like, I think when we went to Canada and was bum rushed at the mall is when we were like,
Whoa,
whoa.
that was next level.
We were like, we're normal people. Just, yeah, give us a chance. We will, shake hands with all of y'all. We'll autograph everything you want. But
We weren't.
it just wasn't, we weren't used to stepping into a building and it be so overwhelming like that. And at the same time, we were like, all right, that's cool. So God, to us, we were like, God gave us a taste of what major fame could be like.
Right.
because us not being from Canada and then actually showing up in Canada and going to the mall to get a bite to eat, and then people seeing us and being like, "Oh snap, that's them from the TV."
Yeah. Swarm of people just start running at you.
Yeah, that's when we started noticing like the difference between being a home celebrity and a outbound celebrity.
Right.
Because that's when we noticed, like, people were like, "Oh snap, Mike Bones here," or you know, like, oh, there was this one time we did this Snapchat where we actually got a hotel room and it was 116, and we were so excited that we got the room 116 that we were like, "Hey," we video taping ourselves in front of it, and we were like 116, and then all of a sudden we had people waiting out in the lobby for us. And we were like, "Whoa, this is trippy."
Fame can be dangerous.
Fame can be dangerous. It hasn't really brought us to the point where it's like it's overstepped its bounds on our humbleness. We've always wanted to be. We've always wanted to treat the fans as if they were the famous ones.
Yeah.
So it hasn't. To me, it hasn't really uh, switched sides yet.
Got to your head.
Or got to my head yet.
Jesus.
Yeah,
And
I'm always curious to about the like before people reach any kind of stardom or fame. They speak about faith. You know, they talk about God, but then when they get to a certain level, they start to stray. You know what I mean? They forget to mention God, or they forget to mention Christ. You know, and they kind of go in a whole new direction. But that, in case, wasn't yours, right?
No, well, I'll say it like this. So when we started, we were very, I don't know.
come on, Obama.
We were very,
he keeps doing that breakdown.
We were very bold about how we approached a song with Jesus in it, and now we're sneak attacks. Well, with the Rain Dance album, we were sneak attacks. So people would hear this one song called 316 and be like, "Oh, that's a love song, man. I wonder who they was singing that song for." And the whole time that some people are listening to it, they're thinking, "Oh, he's singing about a female," when 316 is about a love song to God and how you miss your relationship and you wake up at 316.
First of all, the song is just titled 316 to throw people off. It's not about a Bible verse.
It's 316 in the morning.
It's about being awake at 3 in the morning, thinking about somebody. Can't go to sleep because your mind is on somebody, and that somebody is God.
Yeah, you miss the connection that you had with your God, and you want that again.
So yeah, but it's never got to our head and got us to stray away from God.
Matter of fact,
we just
our latest album, actually, it was a little more. I don't want to say preachy, but it was a little more uh, known that we were faith-based rappers because of the type of songs that we did. Like we got God's Got This, we got Ain't No what's it called? Ain't Worried About It. It's just a lot of songs on there. Dipping is a song about riding, jamming some music real loud for the Lord, and
and we try to promote other quality content like ours. That's something we say that we push as quality content, no nonsense. And something we like to push is what we listen to, because I say all the time, you are what you eat, so be careful what you feed your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Who some of your in any I guess in any genre, music is music, but being faith based, who were some of your inspirations, and who do you listen to growing up?
yeah.
You taking it back.
All right. Well, back in the day, for me, it was anybody that screamed. Like I liked it back in the day, like Onyx, Busta Rhymes, Michael Jackson, um, just like anybody, like Beastie Boys, just stuff like that. But like when I got saved, and the cool thing was about when I got saved is I asked God, what does He want me to do, and He basically told me, get rid of the music you're listening to because it's not helping you. in your faith that's holding you back. And so I had like a 250 CD booklet, and every CD was filled. Sometimes it was two CDs in there in one pouch, and I threw that at a church bonfire that we had. And even my pastor was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, God told me he was going to find me some music that's either similar or even better than what I'm listening to. And he sure did. And I found Gospel Gangsters, T-Bone, Lil Rascal, New Wine.
FF5.
Yeah, I mean, it just started stacking. I'm like, wow, I liked it. Michael Jackson, I got Tone A. I liked it. Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I got the T-Bone, and I got SFC, and man, it was just like everything that I was into. I started finding music that was similar, and I was just like, man, this is crazy. I liked it, Notorious B.I.G. I got BBJ. It just nonstop, and so like out of all of those artists right now, I appreciate how Seven writes his music. I like Bizzle. We like Family Force 5. Um, and I like, of course, I like a lot of Christian death metal and stuff like that. So Demon Hunter and War of Ages. Oh man, I'll go crazy with that.
Yeah.
You said before you were saved. What was life like that before we saved? What I kind of heard some of your story while we were talking to the truth seeker. Shout out to the truth seeker right there. Yeah, and what was I didn't get to catch the whole thing, but what was life like before you guys were saved?
Shoot. I was a little bit of a player, I guess. And I mean, I never really slept with the females, but I would always mess around and I'd have different girlfriends. But it never really got serious. It wasn't nothing too serious for me.
Yeah. Well, mine was a little more violent. I had an abusive father, so I was getting beat at home. I didn't mind getting beat up away from home. So I joined, a gang. I learned how to break into cars and buildings, and ain't like the new gangbangers nowadays. Like when we said bang, we wasn't talking about pulling triggers. We was talking about locking hands. And so like we go to the mall, pick a fight with a rival crew, and it'd be that. We fight, split apart, and it wasn't till like 91 when I was only in for like a year or two, and in 91 I think my homeboy just like got shot, and I was like, whoa, I ain't trying to die for this. So to me it was fun and games until people started actually getting shot up, and then I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. I'm not the hard-headed kid that a lot of the teenagers are now. It's just like, oh, I got caught. Well, next time I won't get caught. I was like, yo, if I got caught, I ain't doing that again. And then if, certain situations, I learned from it versus a lot of the hardheads that are just like, oh, well, maybe I'll try it different.
Yeah, I'm glad some of us can learn quick, man, because sometimes it takes some people, a lot of times for them to get out of their not their ruts, but out of their main friends, man. Like it took me like you said, when one of my friends was killed in high school, and it took me to see him in the casket. Man, I didn't live too much of a crazy life, but I lived. I was pushing the envelope. I was getting myself into situations where I don't need to be, and seeing that made me, realize, what, that can be me. That can be me next. Who's to say it could be my brother or can be my best friend? And yeah, that's what made me want to do better for my community, do better for myself, man, and do better for my church.
Mm.
What do you guys do now with everything you experienced, man? And traveling, your music. How do you help the people around you, your community, or the people that look up to you?
Yeah, different things, man. We not only the music, because all of our music has positive vibes. Even if it sounds like it's a party song, it can have a double meaning behind it. But we kind of write our music in the way how Jesus spoke in stories or parables. That's kind of how we write our music. So music is for one, and just through our own example, doing what we spit on we in real life.
Mhm.
So we live this. It's more than words, and so you won't catch us like drinking or smoking or nothing like that. We just turn it down like it's nothing. That I think really speaks to people. Also in our community, we do different giveaways and charities that we join.
I mean, we fed the homeless. We've
We gave away our car
yeah,
not too long ago. What was it? We had an Infinity, and we just we wanted to bless somebody that needed a car, and we had bought a new one, and it was a cool car, but we didn't really have the room for it, and we didn't really had a use for it. So it was like, hey, there's a family, single mom, and there's a picture on Facebook and everything. Us giving her the keys, and
yeah. I mean, there's so much that we've done that we don't record because I feel like anyone who does it just for the views or the likes,
yeah,
it's overshadowed its purpose.
Yeah.
you don't.
So
I think the word actually preaches on that. Don't do that just for the glorification.
right,
But there's different things like you were saying. What else? Praying over our fans. Like
yeah,
when our fans need prayer, we'll we'll jump right up. Or messaging our fans. That's something we do that's different than other artists. Is we
mm,
actually talk to the fans and get to know them and treat them just like their family or whatever. And I think they really appreciate that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Because you never know. Obviously, they look up to people like that. When they reach out to you, they're looking for help. But then when you like in your case, when you reply or you jet to them and you make their day, all that can change their life and their day. So yeah, that's cool, man. That because some people don't do that. They get to a certain status, whatever status they're at, and they stop replying.
Yep.
I don't got the time. But that
right,
little message or that little word, can help somebody that's going through maybe some depression or they're hurting, man. And you know,
yeah,
I bet you this guy and he replied, you can make their whole year, the whole day, man, and then
yep,
their whole vibes around for the good.
Yeah. And
yeah.
we've
And
got
we try that. It's overwhelming with how much our fan base has grown, but I mean, still, we do our best, even if it's like I think there was one I hit somebody up and it was like a year later and it was in the spam box and and they had like sent this really long letter about what they were going through and then after I found it and I was like, oh, I don't care if it's a year later. I responded and I let them know. I don't know if you're still going through this situation, but I'm praying that God has pulled you out and everything like that. And they were like, oh my God, that happened a year ago. Glad you responded. I can't believe this is y'all. And then they were like questioning, is this really you? Send a picture.
right. Hey, also I want to speak on another thing we are doing right now. We just released a single, our first ever single called "Fist in the Air," and it's a song dedicated to the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. MMI If you guys don't know what that is, look it up, Google it, search the hashtag MMI and it's basically to raise awareness and spread the word and give a voice to the voiceless. Using our platform to do that, the whole song just breaks it down what's going on, and it's a revolution type song. It's a powerful song. It's not one of those sad, sappy type of things. We wanted to write something different and to encourage people to get up and move with the movement, and let's do something to change the status and keep our community safe, keep our people safe.
Yeah, that's what's up. Always before we end the segment or end the review, I always give my guests opportunity to, they share their heart, share whatever's on their mind. If anybody's, going through some, if they're hurting, depression, man, or just going through gangs, violence or abuse, what kind of a hope of words or inspiration can you give them to, step out of their hurting or their situation to make a better change or to seek help or just to seek, something that'll make their life better and just, make them a better person?
Hmm. You go first, or you want me to go first?
Sure. Uh, I'll go first. um, Man, no matter what kind of love you're looking for, whether it's in a relationship or with a group of people, just know that God's love is more powerful, and that you don't have to do certain things that you normally wouldn't do for acceptance when it comes to God. God wants you as you are. Um, you don't have to, rob, steal, or do certain things that may hurt or offend anyone else just to be accepted in the kingdom of God. So, um, if your friends are are only your friends just because they can convince you to do stupid things, they're not really your friends. Also, if you're in a relationship and they're controlling you to the point where you don't even know yourself, then you're not in the right relationship. You need to find a relationship with God and then find someone who has a relationship with God. Because if someone is not committed to God, they will not be committed to you. And if they don't honor God, then they will never honor you. Because I don't care who it is. I I know from experience. I've dated the ones that fake the funk, and I've dated the ones that were bold about serving Christ, and then something happened in their life and they just changed, and that changed the whole thing. It's like, don't, it's not even worth it. Like, find somebody that's strong for the Lord, that'll make you strong for the Lord. And
Also, on that note about the whole following God and the Lord and everything, I want to say that to our indigenous brothers and sisters, I know there's a lot of bitterness towards the whole white man religion, but one thing we got to break out of is that mentality of that's a evil religion and Christ, is the white man's God or whatever. But they only brought the Bible over and revealed what the creator's name was. Unfortunately, they twisted the Bible and used it for their own wicked reasons. Yes, we all have free will. That's the problem. Some people are just wicked, and religious places don't represent Christ the Creator. So just keep that in mind.
never turn your back on God when a organization rubs you the wrong way,
Right?
because it's that organization, not God.
Yeah. So they don't represent the Creator, man. Don't let them make your heart harden towards the Lord. But to anybody that's going through the struggle right now, just you can't force life to give you answers. So sometimes you just got to go with the flow and trust the process. And that's why we wrote the song "Ain't Worried About It" off our latest album. It's just talking about not being worried about it, because worry is not going to change a thing. It's only going to steal
Yeah,
your joy. Yep.
right,
So
right.
just might as well be happy.
So
And
where can anybody that's watching this, gonna watch it and listen, where can they find any of your material, any of your music, your videos and websites?
MikeBoneMedia.com is our new updated website, has all the links.
Every link you could think of.
We are on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, you name it. MikeBoneMedia.com.
All the links are there at the top.
We got music videos, we got TV interviews, we got
free
merchandise.
We got free music on our website.
We got face masks, we got blankets, all kinds of stuff. And like he said, free music. Go download it.
Yeah, I
take
think we have
advantage.
3 mixtapes on there.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Take advantage of the 3 free mixtapes on there.
Now, once again, it's Lil Mike and Funny Bone together. Mike Bone.
Yeah, there's no funny, or there's no bone in my name. It's, to be specific, it's Lil Michael Jackson, but I cut off the Jackson because it's just Lil.
Is it, well, before I go, is it true that you guys are names both Jesus? Is that
Yeah.
it? Wow.
Yeah, but we don't go by Jesus. Like, even since birth, we didn't go by Jesus.
We always had nicknames.
In the Indian community, we always go by nicknames. So it's just like he was something else and I was something else. I don't even think we go by our original nicknames anymore. But that's Bone and I'm Mike. Matter of fact, I think even in his yearbook, they put Funny Bone.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's messed up.
He was jealous.
I was like, that's messed up.
You can tell who their favorite was then, huh? Man.
Yeah, mine was like the full name and then Mike in parentheses. He got the whole just Funny Bone. I was like, wow, that's messed up.
That's crazy. Man, I want to thank you guys for coming on, man, and sharing, your background, your music, man. And I hope that the person that's going to listen to this gets some inspiration, man, some hope in their lives. And go ahead and check out check out the music world. They got that krunk music world. They got that church music. And they got that style of music. For the Dust Podcast, if you have a story or testimony you want to share, man, go ahead and hit me up from Dust Podcast at Outlook.com. That's from the Dust Podcast at Outlook.com. Stories need to be told, and voices, man, they need to be heard.
Therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things become new.
And for the ones listening, check it out, stay tuned. We're going to play a track from them. Y'all be blessed. Yeah.